Hey buddy, welcome back to the channel, or indeed if you're new to the channel, welcome along. My name is Andy, the Uncommentator. This is episode number, I don't know, of this Extreme Warfare Revenge playthrough where I'm going to be booking a year's worth of shows for PWG. So before I progress on, let's just have a quick recap of where we got to at the end of the last episode. So in the last episode was a bit of a bumper episode because I booked 3 shows. From this point onwards, I'm going to try and stick to doing 2 per episode. But in the last episode, we booked the Go Home show for Bask in His Glory. We booked the actual Bask in His Glory, which was this one. And then we booked the Fallout from Bask in His Glory. So just have a quick recap of what actually happened. So Congo Kong retained the title against Keith Lee. Josh Barnett debuted by beating Eli Drake. Jenna Perazzo won the women's title, so we've got a new women's champion. The Powers of Pain somehow retained the tag team titles. And then we had a big all-star women's tag team match with Mickie James pinning Io Shirai to get the win for her team, Mickie and Mia Yim, against Io Shirai and Asuka. And then in the fallout from that, we had Tenille Dashwood debuted finally after lots of video hype to interrupt Mickie James, who was going to go after the title. Super Dragon and Eli Drake's feud continued. Josh Barnett was part of that storyline that we've got going on. Katrina wasn't too happy with her 2 Japanese charges and made that known. And then the Glory Days continued to screw over Keith Lee. So that's where we're up to in terms of storylines. In terms of time, we're up to the 31st of May. I'm recording this on the 1st of June, so the day after the point that we are on the game. So if I say anything or refer to anything that proves to be inaccurate or it ages very badly, then that's why. However, I do normally talk about just the game on these videos, so I'm going to try and stick to that as much as possible, because of course there is plenty to talk about. Speaking of which, there's a few things I've done since the last video, between recording the last video and this one, which I'll go into in a second, but let's first of all move on to the same day as it is in real life, right now this second, as I sit here. Obviously when this gets on YouTube it won't be the 1st of June, but we don't need to worry too much about that. Okay, so let's see what's happened in this month. So the Japanese promotion, the Japan promotion that's announced their new touring roster is going to be AJPW, I believe. And I made a note here of a few people that I want to keep an eye on. So Sekimoto there, potentially part of a tag team with Abdullah Kobayashi, was working for BJPW, I believe. Jun Akiyama, of course, a legend. Tajiri, I used to really like. With his tarantula and one thing and another, not like Eric Rowan's, but anyway, move on. Takao Amore, and again a bit of a legend, and of course Ultimo Dragon that needs no introduction. So we'll see if they've been retained by AJPW, which hopefully they haven't, because we can maybe sign 1 or 2 of them. But let's see what else has happened since we progressed time. So a few debuts. So Super Dragon's now 44. Io Shirai's hit the big 3-0. The Crash have gone bankrupt, so all their staff and workers will now be available. So that's interesting. House of Hardcore, a new TV show, so we'll see when that is. Guerreros Del Ring's been promoted to Prime. I don't know what promotion that is. I'm assuming it's either CMLL or AAA. I'm assuming. So who's retiring? So Glacier, Piano 4 has retired. Tim Stone's retired. Robert Parker, Dr. Cerebro, Akibono, Jody Fleisch, Pimpinella Escalata, apologies for some of these pronunciations, DDP, a bit more easy to pronounce, Corey Castle, Eric Bischoff's announced he's retiring, Tommy Swade's retired, Gilbert L. yeah, him. No, not Vampiro. No. Okay, fair enough. Bruce Buffer, what a shame. Oh, we've lost a referee. Where's that referee? He's retired on me. Because we need a new referee. And then, of course, we've got the development territory improvement. So we'll read them in a second. Let's have a quick look at the AJPW roster. So we've got now. We've got Awesome Kong. We've got Caristico, Dragon Lee. That's a good signing. Gilbert L. I don't want to butcher that name. So. Yeah, he's just announced he's retired, isn't he? And now he's touring. Interesting. Kalisto, Low Key. Speaking of butchers, Necro Butcher. Speaking of Butch, Pete Dunne, Scott Dawson, and Suwama. So I don't know who Awesome Kong's going to wrestle, because I'm assuming all the rest are male. I don't know about Suwama, but I imagine it is, unless it's Sue Wama. That could be a female name, couldn't it? Let's have a quick look. No, it's a male. Whatever. But yes, I don't know Awesome Kong's going to retire. Wrestle. Sorry, not retire. But then again, I suppose Io Shirai too is with NJPW. Okay, so before we crack on, let's have a quick look at the. I mentioned I did a few things between recording this video and the last video, so let's just quickly go through that. So I actually expanded on the development territory. So I hired some new development territory workers. Let's go through those real quick. If we look at the development deals. So Hana Kimura we already had, Ilya Dragunov we already had. So we signed MJF, who got released by AEW when Tony Khan resigned, and Victor Jovica, I think it was, took over. Signed Myron Reed, who used to work for PWG, which I didn't realise when I signed him, but something I've found out since then. So I used to watch MLW a few years ago, and he was in a group called Injustice, I believe, with Jordan Oliver and somebody else, I think it was. I can't remember who it was. Maybe an AR Fox. I don't think it was, but it may have been. And I used to quite like them. So yeah, we signed Myron Reed. Odinson and Paro, so signed a new tag team called The End. Penelope Ford, who also got released by AEW, we brought her in as well. And just one more person, Riho we've already had. Shota we already had. Super Astro we already had. And the other person we brought in, the original, dare I say, the original Sky Blue, if you know what I mean by that, which I'm sure you do, Ty Conti. So we brought in Ty Mello, whatever you call it. It's had a bit of glamour to the, had a bit, even more glamour I should say, to the roster. We've already got plenty of glamour in Willow and Penelope, and why do we always brought Penelope in? Anyway, let's move on quickly from talking about glamour. So let's see how our development people are getting on. So hopefully they're improving. Sanjay's putting them through their paces. So good improvement there from Hannah. Decent there as well. That was quite good. Ilya, yeah, good for Shoto. Riho improving all over the place there. Cool, so they all did pretty well. Now, of course, the new people, they have to go through a month before they start improving, which is a little bit annoying. So that's why I signed them at the end of last. On the 31st of May, the end of the last month. So now when we get to July, they will start improving. If we signed them at the 1st of June, by the time we got to July, they wouldn't have any improvement, if that makes any sense whatsoever. It makes sense to me. Anyway, so let's sign a new referee. But before we do that, let's just check if there's anything else we need to bring in. Or is young Sophie happy with us? So David starting his new gimmick. Mia Yim's not being pushed enough. She isn't the only one, I'm sure. Yeah, we need more referees. So let's go and get one. So the maximum referee we can sign is 75. So let's put a cap on that. And let's see who we can bring in. Brian Hebner, we could bring in the keep the legacy going of referee. Daryl Sharma. Jack Doan, Jim Molyneux, I think he just worked for ECW, didn't he? Could be wrong on that one. John Finnegan, was it John Finnegan? Was he ECW? Don't know. Mickey Henson was WCW, I know that. Mike Sparks, Paul Turner currently with AEW, of course. And I don't know about the others. Right, okay, so we're going to bring in, does it really matter? I mean, obviously Mickey Henson's the best one. But he's a little bit older. Then again, the guy that's just left us is as well. But let's bring in another young guy. Let's bring in old Daryl Sharma. See if we can knock a bit of money off. Well, save $2,000. So we'll bring in a young referee. Speaking of referees, the current referees we've got, so Slick Johnson and, well, it must be older than 38, but anyway. Daryl Sharma now. Yeah, Mio Shirai. Now that is Io Shirai's sister. So the similar name isn't a coincidence. Now I think she had to retire due to injury, but it'd be useful if we could actually use. You can't use referees in the booking, which is a shame really, because obviously I think it would be a nice tie-in with what's going on with this Japanese group that Katrina's kind of putting together. If we could get some kind of, not necessarily like a crooked referee sort of Nick Patrick NWO type thing, but maybe for just a one-off. Don't have Mio referee any of Io's matches, and then when the first time she does, she helps her or something like that. I don't know. Or have an angle where Katrina specifically asks for Mio to. I don't know. I think it'd be quite useful if we could do that, but obviously, unfortunately, we don't have that facility because the game doesn't offer it to do anything with referees during the booking, which is a bit of a shame. You can do it with guest referees, but you can't do it with real referees. Right? Do we need to keep any of these emails? Let's just have a quick check at House of Hardcore's new show and Guerreros del Ring. Let's see if we can figure out who that is. Okay, so House of Hardcore, a bit of a rival for us. So we could do with them. We could do without them getting another show. But anyway, okay, so on the national network in the graveyard slot. So that's interesting. So if you want to watch Ryback wrestle at 3 a.m. in the morning, you now have that ability. If you want to watch it live, right? Lucha Libre AAA. Nope. So is it CMLL? I'm assuming it's one of these two. I don't think there's any more Mexican promotions. There probably is. Well, the Crash was Mexican, but obviously they've gone out of business. Yeah, Guerrero Del Ring. Now Prime Time. KJLA, which is a network I've used before. Okay, fair enough. Speaking of Prime Time, we need to get on Prime Time soon because the roster's starting to grow. And I do want to keep growing the roster, but we're quickly getting to a point where they're going to have quite a few people that we don't use on these early evening slots. So we need to try and Shane Vampiro's retiring. You need to try and get on Prime Time, I think, just to try and get everybody on the show. I don't think we need to keep any of those emails. Easy giving it up so we can focus on his podcast. Free plug for you there, Eric. Don't need to thank me. I used to listen to that actually when I used to commute, because I don't commute anymore to work. When I used to commute, that was one of the podcasts I had on in the car. That and one or two others. Can I advertise this for free? I don't know. Anyway, I don't think you'll mind. Given the audience I reach, I don't think it's going to matter too much. Right, let's see what's happened here then. So, Ring of Honor signed Steve Allison. I did sign a referee, didn't I? I did sign out. I did actually, yeah. Just making sure. I don't know who that is. So Raven's gone to House of Hardcore. That makes sense. As long as Sabu, again, makes sense. Mark Briscoe's gone to WWN, which doesn't make a lot of sense. Austin Aries has gone back to Impact for the God knows how many times. Willie Mack, where are you coming back? Well, he isn't coming back because he's signed for AAA. Bit of an athletic big man. Okay, right, we'll plough on. There is one more thing I need to do before we book the next show, but I'll actually get to it first before doing it because there's a little bit of a... I've got a little bit of a story to tell. I want to see how many people tune in to watch Ryback wrestle at 3 in the morning. That's what I'm interested in. Actually, did we make money last month? We did. That's a relief. And so far, we've made $72,000, despite the fact we've not actually booked anything yet. So that's interesting. Yeah, we lost money 2 months ago because I put on a pay-per-view like an idiot, which is why the production costs are absolutely sky high. But when we went back to something a bit more normal, we managed to make some money, so that's good. You can't lose money too many times in a row, otherwise you're in trouble. I suppose to be fair with the ticket sales thing, you would sell tickets in advance, so that does make a little bit of sense. Okay, so let's get to Thursday and then we'll sort out what we need to do. So was that Ryback Wrestling? So 423 people turned up to watch Ryback wrestle at 3 in the morning. Or was it that one? Was that... Which one is it? That's House of Hardcore. That's HOH Tuesday, so that was 437. So it would have been that one, wouldn't it? Let's have a look. Yeah, there's Raven, sponsored by Just for Men. Again, Ryback, definitely use Ryback in those adverts. Okay, Yeah, the 1.46. That was HOH Tuesday. So yeah, 437 people. So more people turned up for that than they did for the House of Hardcore, which is interesting. Could have done without them getting to the show really, because they're a bit of a rival to us. You can see there the couple of promotions up. Look how far all AEW have dropped since this game started. That is quite startling, to be honest. That's also our shortlist, so we'll come back to that. Okay, now there was one more signing that I was going to make, but for some reason there's some kind of gremlin in this game, and I don't really know why. Though I'll give it one more try. So I'm gonna sign the Godfather, and the reason for that is because I can't sign who I wanted to sign. So let's just get the Godfather in. Okay, we're gonna have to. No, that's fine. So we can do what we need to do. The East Coast Cowboy. Like the East Coast Cowboy. Bam, bam. Right. Okay, so Godfather. We'll bring you in. And if we send him to development. Okay, so we'll send to development. So he's now in IWC. Doesn't want to leave, that's fine. So we'll fire him. If we go back to the Godfather, he should hopefully be a wrestler again rather than a non-wrestler. Has the magic trick worked? Yes, it has. Oh, amazing. Terry Calloway, is that like a hybrid of Triple H and The Undertaker? I don't know. Anyway, well, let's bring you in on a 6-month deal. Yeah, the reason why I'm bringing the Godfather in is because I can't bring in who I want to bring in, which is, well, we'll get to it in a second. Let's just get this done. Watch it work now. To be fair, I can hope it does, or it means I've signed the Godfather for no reason. But anyway, it's only for 6 months, so it doesn't matter. Which is, of course, the subtitle for this. If only bring out a video game. There was a SmackDown series. There was SmackDown. Here Comes the Pay, wasn't there? And then before then, it was Shut Your Mouth. I think the first one was called Just Bring It. If we ever bring a video game out, we need to call it It Doesn't Matter, because that's all I ever seem to say on this. Although I'm sure that's probably trademarked by somebody. I won't like to speculate who. Now, so there's the Godfather, now a wrestler. Now the reason why, now I will actually get to the reason. Now I wanted to bring this guy in, but for some reason, when I sign him, he doesn't appear on the roster, and I have no idea why. But it's quite frustrating. So I'm gonna give it one more try and see if this works. Although when I was messing about with this between recording this video and the last video, I did actually learn something which I should have already known. Now I think if I offer him 35,000, he will sign, but he won't sign, if that makes any sense. So yeah, so PCO agrees to the contract. There it is. We click OK. But if I go to the roster, he's not there. Like he's not there. Like, where is he? Where is he? I don't know why this is happening, but it's really frustrating because I had an idea lined up that I needed him specifically for, but we can hopefully do it with the Godfather. I'll actually do some booking at some point because I realise we're nearly 20 minutes in and I haven't actually booked anything yet. But see, he's back there. I don't understand this. Now, I don't understand this. But one thing I did learn from doing this though. I talked about this a few times, but I was talking about Will Ospreay in an old video about how I should have signed him on a written contract and never did. Well, I think it turns out that I couldn't actually sign him on a written contract. I thought if you offered someone enough money, you could sign them on a written contract, even if they work for bigger promotions, but apparently you can't. So if you look at it, so we'll use this guy as an example. So we've got here Ring of Honor and NJPW. So I'll go to contract negotiations. Now if I want to sign them on a written contract, so I'll change that to written. I'll bump it up to 140,000. Doesn't matter. Now you see there it says rejection. I'm already working for bigger promotions than you. Now, if it doesn't matter how much I offer him, I will still get that message. So I could go up to 300. I'll not bother because there's no point. I could go up to 300, but Yeah, so if I had done that with Will Ospreay, I don't think he would have signed for me anyway. The only difference might have been with Ospreay is because he was already on the roster. Now, if he was already on the roster and I offered him a written deal, he may have signed it. I doubt it though. So that makes me feel a little bit better. It makes me think I didn't actually lose Will Ospreay. There was nothing I could have done about it. Anyway, so that was yeah. So what's happened with PCO? Why he doesn't appear? I really don't know. But anyway, we've got the Godfather. He'll have to do. Well, I mean, obviously stats are a lot worse, which was another reason I wanted PCO. And also, I feel like PCO. Anyway, we'll get to it. So, right, let's finally book. After 20 minutes and 40 seconds of rabbiting on, talking drivel, let's actually do some bookings. So we're building up towards our next event. Oh, actually, I need to mention that. So let's just go back a second. I forgot to mention it. Yeah. So I also between the last recording as well as between the last recording and this one, as well as signing the developmental people, I also put in the June event because I forgot to do it for May and then I had to do it sort of on the day, ad hocly. Now I actually did a bit of research and I found an old event that PWG used to run called Mystery Vortex, so I thought I'd bring that name back to life because at the start of the video, before I changed to a weekly model, and the monthly events were all in place, June, there wasn't actually an event in for June. So we're going to bring back Mystery Vortex. Now I think, if I'm right, if my research is right, it would be Mystery Vortex 8, based on how many Mystery Vortexes would have taken place up to this point. So that's why we've used... that's why it's called Mystery Vortex 8. So yeah, we're bringing back something that happened to me. I'm starting to do a little bits of research for PWG when there's things I'm not sure about or when I want to sort of acknowledge its history. But yeah, that's one of them. So without further ado, after 22 minutes, we're actually going to do some bookings. So yeah, so we're building up towards Mystery Vortex, the 22nd of June. So that means we've got 3 shows before then. So the next video, when I get to it eventually, is going to be the Go Home show and then the actual event itself. Okay, I'm going to try and stick to 2 shows per video, but whether I keep to that, I don't know. So let's get a main event for that show. We're going to kick things off with an angle, a one-on-one angle. Challenge for the next big event. It's going to be Orange Cassidy challenging Congo Kong. I'm just knocked the microphone over, so apologies if that got picked up. I need to mess with those cool sort of headsets with a microphone on them rather than just have these things on a stand in front of me. Anyway, move on. Right, so Orange Cassidy will challenge Congo Kong. So then let's actually have a match. Going to be Triton versus Timothy Thatcher. And it's going to be a draw. It's going to be a no contest because the Glory Days are going to ruin it. So let's have the Barbarian ruin it. Why not? I was hoping Rick Steiner would come out of rehab, but he hasn't. So we'll go for the Barbarian. I don't want Barbarian to destroy him because I don't want Timothy Thatcher getting destroyed, so we'll just say no aftermath. Build it to a future match, which it kind of is, but it's a long way down the line. Then we're going to have the man who should be world champion, the returning hero who unfortunately didn't conquer on this occasion. So Keith Lee. He's going to target Bob Backlund. He's basically going to target the entire Glory Days, but we'll say Bob Backlund. And basically, the point of this interview is just going to be, I'm going to take the Glory Days out, even if it means I have to do it on my own. That's basically the top and bottom of this, what this interview is going to be. It's a shame when you do the old run-in ruins, match ends in a draw because of a run-in. you can't then book an aftermath of a running attack on the person who run in, if that makes any sense. Because obviously, if I could, then I would have Keith Lee run off the Barbarian, essentially. But yeah, so that would happen. That match would happen. Then we'd cut to a backstage segment of Keith Lee watching the television from an awkward angle, and then the interviewer saying, "Hey, what do you make of all this? You know, they ruined your match. They cost you the world title," and then he declares war on them, basically. So that's the point of that. Right, we're gonna have a video angle next. If my voice sounds a bit funny, it's because I've got hay fever, so apologies for that. There's not much I can do about it, unfortunately. Okay, so it's going to be hype video for a feud. I don't actually have a feud, but let's just try it anyway. There's a feud section on this game, which I never use, or very, very rarely use, but let's just see if we can... Let's see, can I... Yeah, I thought it might say that, so it doesn't matter. Again, it doesn't matter, of course. So we'll go one-on-one match, even though it's not a match. So it's Eli Drake and Super... So basically the point of this is... the point of this video is to recap what happened last week. So, which I didn't mention when I was talking about what we booked in the last episode. But basically, Eli Drake attacked Super Dragon and Super Dragon suspended him. So that's just kind of recapping that happened, just to keep Eli Drake sort of on the show without actually being on the show. That will lead nicely onto this next segment, which is going to be another match. It's going to be Josh Barnett, who of course kind of Super Dragon's henchman, if you like, and he's going to take on the Godfather, which is why we needed him to be a wrestler and not a non-wrestler, so we could book him on television. And this would have been PCO if I could have signed it. I don't know why that started, but it's really frustrating actually, because I had quite a good idea, which should still work with the Godfather, it just won't quite be as good. And obviously, as I said, PCO's stats are a lot better. So Josh Barnett's going to win cleanly. We'll put to debut the Godfather, even though he's obviously losing. So, but hopefully, I think he'll get a nice reaction, even though he's not really an indie guy, if you like, which obviously PCO kind of has become one in more recent years. Then we're going to have another interview segment. This time it's going to be Bob Backlund for the tag team champion. So basically just going to say no one can beat these two. That's essentially what's happening here. So we'll stick with talking about Crime Time. We'll just say, yeah, you suck. But no, we won't, because Crime Time need to respond, and I've not got that booked. So yeah, so no one can beat them. They beat Crime Time, the greatest tag team in the world. Blah 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 blah. Then we'll do yet another interview segment. How many interviews have we had on so far? Is this 3? Third interview, this time with Gianna Perazzo. No targets, self-promotion. So basically, she gets asked, who's going to win this? Who's going to win the number one contenders match? And she's going to say, well, it doesn't matter because I'll win anyway. But I mean, being a babyface, she won't be too arrogant. But she'll say, oh, it'd be nice to face Mickie James. She's a bit of a legend. But whoever wins, it doesn't matter. I'll be cheering anyway. And then we get this number one contenders match for the women's title, which will take place at Mystery Vortex. So it's Tenille Dashwood making an in-ring debut now, taking on Mickie James, who of course, with Mia Yim's blessing, said, yep, you go for the title. And it's going to be, unfortunately, Mickie, you're going to come up short, so Tenille's going to win because Asuka runs in, which rhymes. So Tenille Dashwood by interference from Asuka. And then, of course, Mia Yim, Mickey's bestie, runs in for the save. So that keeps that feud going, gets Tenille Dashwood in a number one contenders position. Yeah, pretty good match, why not? Don't know how to pick that, so let's pick it. Right, so that's the this episode of Warfare ready to go. Let's see how it goes. Okay, that could have been a bit better. Triton and Timothy Thatcher, decent match. That's good. Keith Lee, yep, not quite. Again, hopefully, I was hoping for a bit better there. Yeah, that's fine. Godfather's losing over because of his weak gimmick. Well, his gimmick's a pimp. So, his gimmick is the Godfather gimmick. So that's slightly irritating. Okay, I'll check that out in a second. No, that's good. Well, and Bob, that's what managers are there for. Ooh, that's even better. Well done, Diana. No, don't lose overness. I was hoping that was going to be a little bit better, actually, given Tennille's stats, but hey-ho. Fair enough. Okay. Could have been worse, I suppose. Now, let's have a quick look at the Godfather. You see, it's a face, he's a pimp, so how is he losing overness? That is the Godfather gimmick. Is it because we're not risky enough for a pimp gimmick? Is that... I mean, I risked 69, which... I mean that joke writes itself for a pimp gimmick, but yeah, I mean, surely that can't be right. Godfather's gimmick not really working. Is it because it's not... Let me just try something a second. Let me just test something. So, we'll use Flash Mogul. No, we won't. I need who's a babyface? Anyone? Have I actually got any baby faces? I must have one. There we go. Try it. You'll do. Yeah, you'll do. Right. So pimp. Just punch the microphone again. So apologies if that got picked up. Yeah. Yeah. Product's not risky. Product's not risky. I thought it was going to be that. Okay. Right, cancel that. Right, do I put the risk up? Can I put the risk up? That's the... Let's just have a quick look. VH1. I don't want him to keep losing over this if I can avoid it. Yeah, risk 75. So I'll tell you what, let's put the risk up. Turn the pitch up. Put the risk up. Let's try that. Let's put it up to 70. I don't want the sponsors to start getting happy. That's the problem with changing the risk. Let's just put it up to 70. Let's see if that is enough. If not, I'll put it up to 75. Right, 70. It's okay. So we didn't like that one. See, if I just signed PCO, none of this would be happening. But unfortunately, we couldn't do that. Right, risk 75. Make the change. Okay, get rid of that. 1.74. Kevin Sullivan versus the Godfather. That's printing money right there. What a weird episode this has been in this series. Everything's going wrong. Right, let's try and give Triton this pimp gimmick. Unless it's... Nah, see, it's disappeared now, the issue. Right, okay. So we'll leave it at 75, because I think we can get away with it. Yeah, VH1 early evening. Let's just double check. Yeah, 75%. So as long as the sponsors don't start to drop out, because that can happen. If you put your risk up, your sponsors can say, I don't want to be associated with such a risky product. So as long as that doesn't happen, we should be okay. Triton. Yeah, that's fine. Right. Okay, we're good. We're all good, I think. He says. He hopes. Right, let's get to this next show and then let's get this video ended, because it's not been a vintage episode, it's fair to say, but yeah, see what I mean. So 3 of the sponsors have ended the relationship. Right, okay, well that's okay because we can get them back. Public image 51. That's one way. I mean, okay, let's just get these back and then we'll go from there. What's Jack Daniels give us? 350,000. Right, so let's 350,000. So minimum pay, let's go to 300,000. Yeah, that was always going to be the problem. If yeah, no one. Okay, that's fine. Let's put that back down to 69. Not for comedy purposes this time. Yeah, see, they are interested again. This is what I'm saying, so I don't really know... How risky can we be and then be interested? Let's have a look. 74. Yeah, they're not interested at 74. What about 70? Jerry is risky as possible, but I don't know if it's going to matter, to be honest. They're interested at 70. Or Google are, anyway. Google and Yahoo. Right, I'll go back. Yeah, I'll just stick to 69. Because why not? This is all because, like I keep saying, this is all because the game doesn't work, basically, and I can't get PCO in. If I could have signed PCO, none of this would be happening. I mean, I can see why Toys R Us don't want to be associated with the... When you look at the actual products, you can see why Toys R Us don't want to be associated. Right. With a risky product. I mean, it's not sex Toys R Us, it's Toys R Us. So we need to we do need to be a bit. Okay, so that means the Godfather's gimmick's not working. That doesn't matter too much at the minute. Although I don't want him to lose too much overness. Right. Okay, that's fine. Right, we'll plough on. At least we're learning. What a strange episode this has been. I'm just gonna try PCO one more time, off camera. Actually, I'll do it when I'm not recording, because I really don't know why that's happening, and I really wish I did. Eric Tap Out. I forgot they didn't have an owner. Amber Benson's wrestling. Who's Amber Benson? I should know that is. Anyway, okay, fair enough. Right then. 13th of June, will it be unlucky? Let's see. Show number 28, I believe. I'm keeping track correctly, which I believe I am. Right, so we'll kick things off. So we've got 2 shows now before our event. Haven't we? Yes, we have. So this is the week before the Go Home show. It's a lovely day, by the way, where I'm recording this. Oh, for some reason I'm really cold, which is not helping the old hay fever. Not that you need to know any of that. Right. So we'll kick things off with a bit of insult trading. So it's going to be a one-on-one angle. 2 workers trade insults in the ring. And it's going to be Tennille and Deonna Purrazzo. So of course Deonna Purrazzo at the minute playing a tomboy gimmick. So Tennille would say things like, "Hey, 2004 called. They want Avril Lavigne back," or something like that. I don't know. Whenever Skater Boy came out, I don't know when that came out. Something around that time. And then Deonna would fire back with, "Well, you know, I don't know, something about make some kind of Emelina reference, or you know, being good in a video, you know, some kind of video package reference. I don't know. I have no idea. Anyway, you get the idea. Bit of insult trading. A few rooty, shooty, tooty things can be said in that one, so that will hopefully get things moving there. And then I do remember I do actually have other women. So we're going to bring back Shanna, the ex-champion. She's going to take on the woman whose name I can't say. So just a little play off there. So as Deanna's walking backstage after that segment, Shanna's music, and they can have a little walk past each other, a little look. So yeah, still got my eye on that championship. On a draw, it's a win for Shanna. Yeah, clearly, why not? Seems to just be become a bit of a job. I don't know how you say her name. Become a bit of a jobber anyway. No aftermath and no purpose, just to basically get you on the show. See, this is what I'm saying. I'm already struggling to get everybody on every week, so a primetime slot move wouldn't be the worst thing. Okay, so we'll go to another angle, because of course we only tend to have 3 matches a week, which is fine. Well, it isn't really, but hey ho. It's going to be an authority angle. Can you book handicap matches? I think you can. Yes, you can. So, 1 versus 2 next big event. So Excalibur is going to book Keith Lee against Bob Backlund and Kevin Sullivan. So basically taking on the Glory Days. Now, I didn't really want Bob Backlund to wrestle, but well, he's wrestling basically. Yeah, so the not the tag team champions. So I think that for this segment, Excalibur would be like, well, you know, I don't want to book this, but Keith Lee's insistent. He wants to take on, you know, he's happy to take you both on at the, you know, on his own. So blah 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 blah. Because the tag team champs, I kind of wish I'd taken the belts off the Powers of Pain now, but anyway, the tag team champions are going to be defending their belts, so that's why he's facing those two. And then the Godfather is going to be back in action now. This time he's going to be taking on another submission specialist, which has gone from Josh Barnett to Timothy Thatcher. A lot of T's in this company. That's a lot of Trey Miguel, speaking of T's. So the Godfather versus Timothy Thatcher. No title. Timothy Thatcher's going to win. And another clean win. Sorry, Godfather. No aftermath and no purpose. Okay, I mean, there is a purpose, but I can't pick the purpose of it. I can't pick it, and I don't want to say because it's all 4D chess, this booking. So Godfather loses again. Then we're going to have another challenge sort of angle. So we're getting the card together for the Mystery Vortex. So challenge for next big event. Excuse me. Mickey James is going to challenge Asuka, of course, cost of the world title. We've not had that one-on-one match yet, so cost of a world title shot, I should say. And then we're going to have another booking angle. This time, it's going to be Super Dragon. So he's not happy that Excalibur's booked. So again, keep that little under feud, if you like, going. So Super Dragon not happy that Excalibur's booking matches, so he's going to try and one-up him by booking Josh Barnett versus Eli Drake. So Eli Drake's return. So Eli Drake's suspension will be lifted. So this match is going to be a. Actually, I'll finish booking, then I'll come back to that segment. Actually, let's just get this. Let's just get this rest of this booked. So we get another angle. No, is it a stable angle? I'm not sure. Stable. Attack singles backstage. Yep. So the Glory Days attack Keith Lee. And then the main event is a 6-man tag. And it's going to be Orange Cassidy and Crime Time taking on Aussie Open. And no prizes for guessing who their partner is going to be. The World Champion. And Cassidy is going to pin. Doesn't matter as long as it's not Congo Kong. Cassidy's going to pin Fletcher. Clearly, send the fans home happy, give the babyfaces a win. Okay. Right, let's kick things off. Sorry, I was just distracted. Right. Yep, so good segment there. Gaining overness, which is nice. Nice. Okay, decent match. Nothing to write home about. Good. I was hoping the wrestlers would get over, but hey ho. Yep, we know. But it doesn't matter, as I keep saying. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I was hoping for the overness there. Right, now this segment here, so basically the point of this, so obviously it's booking a one-on-one match for Mystery Vortex, but it's actually going to be, and I can't book this, but I can book basically it's going to say it's a steel cage match with no ropes. That's going to be, so essentially it's a UFC fight, if you like, because obviously Josh Barnett, you know, legit MMA. I don't think he's ever been in UFC. But you know what I mean? He's like legit sort of MMA sort of trained, I think. Even if he's not, he comes across as legit. So that's kind of the point of this match. So it's going to be a no-rope steel cage match between Josh Barnett and Eli Drake. And then the stipulation is if Eli Drake wins, if Eli Drake wins, then he gets reinstated. And if Josh Barnett wins, he gets a world title shot. That's the crux of it. So we're trying to stack the deck against Eli Drake, obviously, by putting him in a match that Josh Barnett should be good at, you know, a no rope steel cage match. So that's what's going on there. Hey, Keith Lee getting over us, good. And then the main event, which should be a good match. A bit disappointed actually. I was hoping for much better. .66% quality show yet again. It seems to be quite common. Did we get that for the last one? Yeah, 2 66s in a row. Fair enough. And Eli Drake wants a title shot. Well, who wouldn't? And they were 1.88. 416 people. So less people turned up to watch that than they did to watch Ryback at 3 AM in the morning. And I think, on that note, that's a good reason to end this video, because it's not quite going according to plan, but we've got there in the end. We've got the 2 shows out the way. So if you did enjoy this car crash, this cluster, then please like and share the video. You can also leave a comment on the video should you choose to do that. While you're on YouTube, if you head on over to the channel, the commentator, you'll find the rest of the videos in this playlist. So if there's anything that you've missed up to this point, you want to fill in the blanks and any of the stories that I'm trying to tell, then please go and do that. Also, if you like wrestling, I've played through Crush Hour for the PS2, which is kind of wrestling. So please go and check that out. If you don't like wrestling, then why are you watching this video? But if you want to check out some other content, I've got plenty on there on the channel. So there's Pokemon, there's Streets of Rage, there's Tekken, there's all sorts of stuff from various consoles from down the years. But join me next time. We're going to be moving on to hopefully a slightly slicker episode where we're doing the Go Home show for Mystery Vortex and then the show itself. But until it's that point, for now, from me, it is sayonara.